Hi guys, it's about 4 minutes before 10 o'clock right now. Well, I hope you all had a great Easter because I know I did. I know I haven't posted a video for the past few days. That's because been enjoying my few days off here. But now talking about the weather, red flag warnings. Okay. Red flag warnings, that's because of the fact of the dry conditions that we're just going to continue to see. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to continue for a while here. These red flag warnings though will stay up for a while. And this will probably go through tomorrow. Although we do have a chance of rain sometime tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens with that. But essentially you can see chance of some snow. Hey, something we haven't seen in a little while. But guess what? It's not here. Up into northern New Hampshire, portions of northern Maine, also into the Adirondacks of New York. If you like the snow, that's where you want to live, is into those regions. Like me, I'd probably live into one of those regions. I'm planning on moving up into this region of Maine, hopefully. I'd like to. But actually that region of Maine, talking about Maine a little bit, they did pick up a good snow event up there. Last night into this morning, they saw some regions, particularly up into that region of Maine, saw a good 5 to 7 inches of snow, an extra 1 to 3 tonight. What does that add up to? About a good 6 to 10 inch snowstorm. Hey, I could handle that this time of the year. And of course, but again, this region of New Hampshire will also get some snow, and also the Adirondacks. So, those wonderful little areas that nobody lives in. But again, 4 inches. That was according to the GFS model. This is according to the NAM model. Essentially the same exact thing. Maybe an inch less is what the NAM is saying. But overall, we all know the general drift. There will be snow into the mountains. And actually, there will probably be even some snow into the Berkshires, as well as getting kind of close to where we live. And I enforce the word kind of close. It won't be here, and if we did see anything, wouldn't accumulate. But a flurry or two flying around our region isn't going to be ruled out, but no accumulations. However, there could be a coating. If you live into Weston, Hamden, Hampshire, and Franklin counties, a good coating, or maybe even up to an inch, is not going to be ruled out. A good 1 to 2 inches going through southern portions of Vermont up into northern portions of the Berkshires. So there could be a little bit of snow around here, but it won't be accumulating to much. It would barely anything. Here we go here. That's the storm that's backing its way into New England. Now, before we move on, I just have to kind of point this out. Look at this wicked deep trough. Oh, man. Too bad this wasn't back in January or February, because too bad, actually, this situation as a whole, this low backing into New England and this. Too bad this didn't happen in January or February, because guess what? We would have been pounded with snow. Okay? And if this storm was a little stronger as well. But if all those things happened together, we would have probably been doused with snow. But it didn't happen, and this trough didn't happen, which meant we didn't really get much snow this year. Talking a little bit more longer range, it looks like things may actually get a little stormy for the next maybe couple weeks. But again, I'm not sure yet. This is our first chance of a really good rain, and this is by next Sunday when I'm going down to Maryland. We might be driving in the rain, but we'll see what happens with that. That quickly moves out, and then we'll say by that's still next Sunday. By next week, by next Tuesday, there could be a good rain event, particularly here. And then, of course, there could be a second dousing of rain, probably by next Thursday. Next Thursday, this is pointing that maybe a tad bit of snow to set things off, but no, I don't think so. But essentially, that's what happens. And then look at this big, good old storm that will be giving us buckets of rain. It looks like we'll see what happens with that. And that's by pretty much next Saturday. Or actually, no, Saturday the 21st. Saturday the 21st. But you can kind of see how this all kind of materializes, and then, you know, we'll see what happens. Could it get a little rainy around here? Could. But I essentially see this to happen. We'll generally be fairly below average in terms of precipitation. My confidence about that is pretty high. Even if we do get this period of rain, it really won't do much. Okay, it really won't do much. We're about 6 to 7 inches below average for rain. Yeah, we need a lot of rain. We need a ton of rain here. This is the temperatures. Now, don't get fooled. Okay, you see this blue and you're like, what? Below average? No. This area blue, if it were to be really below average, I would have done it in a darker shade. But this is very light. Okay, I kind of wanted to do a different color than white. White is bland. To show the at average conditions. And it could be just a tad bit below average to at average. And I believe it'll be probably closer to something at average. We won't be as significant of an above average as these regions out here will be in. And that's because they're in more of an influence from the southerly flow from the high, okay, from that Atlantic high, to where we're more in a influence from the air from Canada. However, we will still see warm, don't get me wrong, we will still definitely see warm days and above average conditions, but it won't be as severe as, say, people who live to our east. Precipitation will, that was a spring. That was the spring precipitation, and this was the spring temperatures. This is the summer precipitation. Things might get a little bit more wet, particularly to our north, because that's where the storm track will be pretty much the most intense, it looks like. Our region, it looks like we will be going to about average. Okay, at average seems to be very good. It's a stat, but it really won't take away from the drought. Back down into southern Connecticut and on down into the mid-Atlantic, they could actually continue to see this below average precipitation through the summer, which I see to be a very big possibility. At average around here to our north, a little bit above average, and actually to our north is really where the core of the below average precipitation will be. Particularly, I see it through this region of Maine. This will be where it will be the most intense that I'm shading in. So just keep that in mind. These are the temperatures, and yet again, this is actually a little bit of a reprieve from what we're seeing in the spring, particularly in through this region of Massachusetts, Mass, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. That's because the air, there's going to be a area of cold air in the below average temperatures, and that's going to be centered in the Great Lakes. We will have a little bit more of an influence into our region. Okay, so what's going to happen is there will be air that will come in from the west and kind of impede into our region, and also through the north as well. But what's going to happen is yet again this area in through this region, there will be more of an influence from the high in the Atlantic, which will cause things to get warmer along the coast. So if you live in eastern New England, you are going to see a warm summer, or at least a little bit warmer than if you were to go out west into our region, or well out west into New York. You could be seeing a well below average summer, and the Great Lakes will be definitely as well. So, but what's going to happen as time moves forward, as we get into September, October, and November, I see this stat to work its way east, and then the stuff that's out into New York is going to come to our east as well. All the stuff is going to sort of shift as time moves its way onward, which also the precipitation will get more. I see the fall being very rainy, And then next winter, very preliminary. I will sort of post my first forecast for the fall probably in June, or well, no, probably sometime in May. So sometime next month, and then my first forecast for the winter will be in June. And then I'll kind of update those as time moves along. But this is again my spring and summer forecast. My confidence for the spring forecast is about 60%. My confidence for the summer forecast is about 55%. I will be updating these as time moves its way onward as well. So again, expect to see these maps getting updated. But essentially, that's what's going on here. That's what's going on short and long term and long range. So we'll see what happens here. But again, it's gonna get. It looks like it's gonna get dry around here. There's already been brush fires out into Brimfield and stuff like that. So it's definitely not a good situation. So that's what's going on here in New England. Have a great rest of your Easter, or what is left of it, and we'll be back for your Monday. Take care, everyone.